Hi everyone, hi champions, welcome and welcome back to Zanash TV. We are so delighted to have you back on this channel. For our returning subscribers, you're welcome. For our new subscribers, welcome to the channel. We hope that you come back again and again. So today in the Zanash TV studios, we have got your one and only or my one and only. Back home they call him Omwati. Omwati. Husband, aka Daniel Roberts. We have invited him to this studio because he has a lot to share with you that he has been working on for almost 6 months or so. And I'm so sure he can't wait to tell us what is in store. So take it away, Mr. Roberts. You're welcome to Zanash TV.
Thank you, darling. So in 2 days' time, I'm going to be running the London Marathon 2023.
Okay, so Mr. Roberts, please introduce yourself to our viewers. I know you, but our viewers don't know you, so please introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm the head of this family.
That's a good introduction. Very well summarized. So, what brings you to our studios today, and what would you like to tell our viewers, please?
I'd like to talk about the reasons why and the processes behind me running the London Marathon, which I will be doing on Sunday, the 23rd of April.
That's wonderful. Tell us, what motivated you to do a marathon?
So there's lots of reasons. The London Marathon started in the early 1980s when I was a young boy, and I used to watch it every third Sunday in April with my dad on a Sunday morning. And I used to say to him how much I'd love to run it one day. I never thought I really would, but people have bucket lists, and some things they really want to do in their lives. And some people want to go to Madagascar, some people want to do this, that, and the other. Some people want to jump out of an aeroplane and skydive. Well, for some bizarre reason, I always wanted to run the marathon, and particularly the London one, because it's the capital of our country and it's a really interesting place, somewhere that I've always been intrigued about. And then grew up and it didn't really happen, and had quite a serious injury in 2006. I broke my right ankle, which I've still got the pins and plates in, which has meant that again that I thought I would never be able to do this.
Oh wow!
And I got to an age where I started running again during lockdown, not for too many distances, but it made me feel a lot better for my mental health and to just feel better in general, obviously physical health as well. And then, 2 or 3 years ago, some of your viewers I'm sure know, our son Malachi got diagnosed with ASD, on the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's been very painful for all of us and difficult to deal with. And one of the things I thought I could maybe do for both him and me was to raise some money for a charity that helps people like Malachi, and at the same time for me to run. So the idea of the London Marathon came back when I realised that was starting again after lockdown, and there was a London Marathon in October. And at the same time, just before then, at the end of August, our family were on holiday in Turkey, and I saw the advertisement from the National Autistic Society for runners for this year. It was a lovely hot evening in Turkey. We were having our dinner. My favourite football team had just won. That's Arsenal, folks. And I thought, right, I'm going to apply for this. And I put in quite a good application, and I wasn't sure it was going to happen. And then, lo and behold, at the beginning of October, they rang me, and I think I was the second or third person that they actually contacted to run for them. And that was really good. So there's lots of motivations going back, for a very long time. And it'll mean a lot to me to get it done.
Wonderful.
Which charity are you running for?
The National Autistic Society, and they help not only children, which is obviously what Malachi is, but people throughout their lives. And raise awareness around autism and make sure that, or start to help make sure that people with autism get a fair voice and get heard and get understood a lot more. It's not easy for us to understand Malachi, and we're his parents, so we appreciate it won't be easy for people who don't know him to understand him. And we find life difficult, so do our other two children. And we want to make Malachi's life and other people like Malachi's life a bit easier as they grow up. And I'm really proud of the fact that I've managed to raise £5,000, or more than that now, and I've had 99 individual donors. And I think what's really good about that is I've had lots of support from my family, which is great, and that's wonderful. But I've also had support from people I don't know, people I barely know, sorry, and that means a lot to me as well. So I've had donations from as little as £2 all the way up to £1,000. But really, the one at £2 meant just as much, if not more, than the £1,000, because that came from somebody I don't know, randomly donated to me. And I think that says a lot about the charitable way that people in this country can be when they get the opportunity. And I know there'll be thousands of other people like me feeling the same on Sunday. And I can't wait to get down there and get ready and do the run.
So what challenges would you say you faced in the preparation time to the marathon?
So I got injured quite quickly into the training. And I think I've worked out why now. I think I was running too fast and too much. Because
I noticed it quite frequently.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, like a lot of people, I'm half my actual age. So I thought I was 24 again when actually I'm 48. And my legs couldn't quite cope with the amount of pressure that I was putting through them, especially with the right leg with the injuries I've still really got. So I've had quite poorly feet, in particular my right foot, which then ended up on my left foot as well. Had very bad pains underneath my little toe on my right foot to start with. Then I started to overcompensate. So I was running on my too hard on my left leg, because my right leg I was trying to leave off it a little bit. And now I've got quite a bad pain in my left hip. So I've had quite bad pains in my feet and my hips. I've had lots of physio, which has been helpful. And the last time I saw the physio, I did ask him the question, why didn't you advise me to pack this all in? And he said, I was going to do that. But he said, having known you for a few months, I know that you'd have just ignored me and carried on doing it anyway. And that there were, a few family members who suggested that maybe I should knock this on the head, because I really was in a lot of pain. And the physio did say to me, the pain you've had is a lot of people would have given up by now, because they just couldn't have coped with this pain. They just wouldn't have put themselves through it. And then, as I said, some family members thought the same as well. But me being me, that only made me more determined to do it.
Yeah.
Including your wife.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least two people in this house that are very stubborn, and I'm one of them. I mean, your viewers can maybe work out who the other one might be, Zan.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the children.
No.
Nothing to do with me.
And I didn't really feel like I wanted to give up, because I put a lot of effort in, and there was the option to maybe defer it to next year, but I didn't want to, because I'll be a year older, so I'll be even more injury prone, the way I looked at it. And I've managed the injuries with the help of the physio, to be fair, but it's meant I've done less running than I wanted to, because I wanted to do 2 or 3 runs a week, and I've only been able to do one run a week from the beginning of January, and had to have 2 months off from November to January, full stop. So I joined a gym, did some gym work just to keep my body going, but it's not the same. I much prefer running, and I don't really like the treadmill. I like running outside. Really enjoyed that, the feeling of being outside and being able to get round. And I changed my route a few weeks ago as well, and that's made a big difference as well, because I think I was getting a little bit bored of the same routine. So I've done some different routes around the area that we live in Milton Keynes, which I know Zan's doing a lot to publicise, and it's really nice seeing bits of your own city. And I've lived here all my life, and there's areas I've ran around that I've never really seen. So that was quite nice as well, to keep the motivation levels high. And I got to the point where I managed to run 17.5 miles, which is the longest I've done up until this coming Sunday, in about 4 hours, 20 minutes. No, 4 hours, 4.5 hours. No, sorry. Much less than that, 2 hours, 40 minutes, with a projected finish of about 4.5 hours when I do it on Sunday, hopefully.
Wow, that's amazing. So please do tell us how and what you've been using as in equipment to help you through this training of your marathon, London Marathon.
So I've got my bag packed because I'm leaving in the morning. So I thought I'd be able to sort of share some of what you've just asked.
Yes, please show us.
There's quite a lot in here.
Oh wow!
Because I've had to do a lot to get ready, as I've said. So first of all, I'll show you what I'll be wearing on Sunday.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which, as you can see, we've managed to put my name on the front.
That's good. It's really nice.
So hopefully, my family who'll be there will be able to see me come past.
Yeah, let's see the back, please.
The back has got my name on the bottom as well, and clearly, it's important to advertise who I'm running for as well. The charity itself, who've been very helpful in all the preparation and given me lots of support.
Can you stretch it a bit so that we can see the name from the armpits area, please?
Well, I'm stretching it, yeah.
From the armpit area. Yeah. No, there, like this. Because this is where the word is.
Mm.
That's wonderful. Move it a bit down so I can see your face. Not too much down, a little bit up. Yeah. Selfie. Okay, so show us the front as well, please. Yeah. Asha, can you help your dad hold it so that we can see?
It's a bit like when you sign.
The name at the end is not showing the L.
It's a bit like when you sign for a new club when you're a footballer.
Yeah.
Showing off the shirt.
Oh yeah. So now we've seen the shirt. What are you gonna wear inside? Or you've got everything there, so we'll wait for you to show us.
That'll come out. Yeah. So this is what I wear inside. So this is a don't know if we're allowed to show the brand, but this is a vest, compression vest. They're called compression vests.
Oh, lovely. So what does it do?
Well, they keep you warm in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really good for the training then, and it keeps the cold out and keeps the warmth in.
Okay.
Although I noticed when you stop, you get cold quite quickly, but it is good for when you're running.
Don't you get too hot in it?
No, I haven't done. And one of the other things that it will stop, one of the things that runners get a problem with is like nipple rash and bleeding nipples and stuff. And because I'm wearing this, I won't get that. So I think that was quite useful. And I like to feel comfortable and safe, and I think this gives me that feeling. So that will be on underneath.
Mm-hmm.
These are my shorts.
The shorts, yeah.
Got a pocket in there for my phone because obviously I'll be needing that to record myself on the app.
Maybe you might need
no.
What do you call it?
A bum bag.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Because it might fall out when you're trying to run.
I've run 17.5 miles. It hasn't come out. So
okay.
I'm confident because that's one of the reasons I wanted to test that. Yeah. So it's a good idea, but I didn't want to go down that road. Socks, pretty bog standard sports socks.
Yeah.
So that's the actual equipment itself. In terms of the running, I've also got this jacket that the organizer sent to me, which is why it's got TCS written on it. It's a warm-up jacket, so I'll wear that on the train on the way down, and then take that off
and leave it the back
and leave it in the
TCS.
Yeah, they're the sponsors of the marathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
And there's a van where you can, or loads of vans where you can put your equipment, spare equipment, and I'll be doing that. So I'll take that off. I won't run in that. So now we come to the interesting stuff, because as we discussed earlier on, the injuries I've had have meant that I've had to buy lots of equipment to try and stop those injuries from getting any worse. So there's lots of bandage stuff in here. So the first thing I wear, and don't wolf whistle all at once, folks, and get too excited by this. These are compression shorts. So
they're not boxer shorts.
No, these are these are proper compression shorts.
Okay.
So they're quite useful for the groin area and the hamstrings, the back of the legs, to try and stop them getting too stretched and painful.
Oh wow.
I'm lucky I haven't had too many problems with those, although my groin's been a bit stressed lately. Then we've got an ankle protector.
Oh, that's good.
Because the right ankle's been very sore and stiff.
Mm-hmm.
We've got knee protectors. Got 2 of these.
Yeah.
Because my knees have been a bit sore as well, and historically I've had quite bad knees, so needed to make sure they were looked after as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not last, we haven't finished yet. this is a thigh protector, so a thigh strap, sorry. So I put this on and then put the strap underneath there and bring it round.
Goodness me. All those for one person.
I know. Since I got the thigh strain, which was in January when I started running again, end of January. That's been quite a pain. But that's helped a little bit as well. I think that's been quite a good one, that one. So we go a bit further down the body to the feet, which is where the original injuries occurred. So these are quite interesting. These are called plantar protectors, and you put your big toe in there, and you put.
I didn't realize you had all these equipments.
No, well, there you go.
Do you put them on every time you go for a run?
I have done every single time I've gone for a run.
Every single time?
Yeah.
Goodness. How long does it take you to put on the whole equipment?
Well, when I was originally starting training, I was getting up at 4:04, and then taking 45 minutes to get dressed.
45 minutes to get... That's a job and a half. Wow.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
in all seriousness, it's taken a lot of preparation, because what I didn't want to do was get any more injured than I already was. So I needed to make sure that I had all of this ready. And this one was given to me by my physio, and it's like it cuts out the shape of my foot, and that's to try and protect. Well, you can see I put it underneath here like this into my trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So it tries to protect this side of my foot a bit more.
Yeah.
To give it a bit extra padding, because this is where the original pain came. So that's will go in the bottom of the trainer on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Is it just one leg?
Yeah, it's on the right foot.
All right.
Because the right foot was the one that was originally bad.
Okay. Is that the one you got injured on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've got the trainers that I will be running in, which are in here. Not these are my newly purchased sliders.
Yeah.
So these are clearly, as you I'm sure you're probably aware, when you do long distance proper running, you need proper running trainers. So these are the second pair of trainers I've had. Very good. The original pair I bought weren't quite as wide as these, so it was suggested I got another pair, which was slightly wider, just to help with this issue I've got with my foot. Hasn't made a lot of difference, but it's nice to have a new pair of trainers, quite frankly. And these ones have gone down very well, and these are ones I've done my longer runs in. Look a bit tatty, but they'll do the job on Sunday. So they'll be what I'll be running in, literally.
You're not taking spares just in case?
Well, the spares I'll be wearing will be the ones that I wear down there anyway, the green ones, which are similar to these. So that's the trainers. And I don't know if we're allowed to advertise, but here's a sports energy drink.
Yeah.
I've put my hand over.
What does it do?
I'll put my hand over the actual brand.
Yeah.
It really, and Asher would probably like this. It's really tastes a bit like a slush puppy, and really all it does is give me a nice little sugar rush, which probably isn't a bad thing. And I've noticed that after 6 or 7 miles, 8 miles maybe, 9 miles, I'll start drinking this, and it just gives me a bit of extra oomph to keep going. So what I might do is I've got 2 bottles of this, so I might give this to my family tomorrow, and hopefully they will be able, when I meet them en route, hopefully they'll be able to pass another bottle to me when I finish the first one, because I can only really carry one when I'm running. Oh, you're only allowed one? No, I just don't really want to run with like so much heavy stuff. No, I don't want to run like this when I could just run like this, so I tend to run with. Are you not allowed to have a rucksack on your back with your bits and pieces? Well, people do run in, dressed up as dinosaurs and Mr. Blobby, don't they? But I'm not doing that. So I don't know. I don't know if you'll add a rucksack, but I will not be carrying a rucksack, no. Okay, just in case you need. No, it's not. Maybe a tissue or something. Well, the pockets there's enough room in the pockets for Nurofen if I need to take that with me, to be a painkiller or something like that, which is fine. That's allowed. So yeah, that's what I'll be. That's all the equipment, and as you can see, I think this goes to show this has been a bit of a labour of love. Yes, it has. You've done a wonderful job. Goodness, yeah, thank you. And I've been half asleep when you're waking up to get ready. I've never noticed how long it takes, to be honest. No, and it's going to be very emotional. Bring back to the seriousness of it on Sunday, and I think there'll be some tears at some point, because this is a big thing for me, and the children and Zan and my dad and sister have been supportive, and they know why I'm doing this, and they want me to succeed in it and to at least get round, which I will do. especially after the concerns we've all had, Christmas, January, February, even into March, really, where there was a bit of concern of whether I'll be able to do it or not. So yeah, it's come round, and I had a chat with the lady from the charity yesterday, and she said, "How are you feeling?" And I said, "Well, I feel a little bit like a 10-year-old at Christmas." And I said, because I'm so excited about it, I can't wait for it to come. I don't want it to end, but part of me will be relieved when it's over, because it's such a big day for me.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, really. And she said, well, everybody else is exactly the same. They all feel that they're all put in this big event that, millions and millions of people watch across the world. There'll be millions of people tuned into this, not just in the UK. It's a big event.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't know if your viewers are aware, but there's an elite race. So guys from Kenya, Uganda, Mo Farah, the top runners in the world, will be doing their thing.
Oh, Mo Farah's doing it.
He is this year. Yeah, it's his last ever year to do it. So I don't think I'll bump into him, because
I hope you get him to give you
I think that's a bit unlikely.
A high five.
Yeah, I don't think I'll
not
see
a
him,
signature.
because it takes him 2 hours, where it's going to take me at least 4.5. So I don't think there's much chance of us bumping it. And they stagger the time, so the elite athletes go off first and get out of the way, so that the slow coaches like me don't trip them up.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's amazing. It's that's very brave of you to take on this achievement. It is an achievement, because
it will be.
This is this, of course I know, but for our viewers, they might want to know if you've done a marathon before. Is this your first one? Is this how many marathons have you done in the past?
No, I've never done any long distance running at all. So every time I do any sort of distance, it's the furthest I've ever run. So 3 weeks ago, I did 17.5 miles, which is, might have been a month ago, but that's the longest I've ever run.
Yeah.
And previous to that, it was 15, and then previous to that, it was 13, and that's all been in this last 4 or 5 months.
So do you feel it's been building up to more and more, or do you think you felt maybe you've been slowing down at some point, or has it been up and down? How has it been?
No, I've tried to follow as best as possible the ideal way to do this, which is to build it up slowly, especially after I got injured, to a certain level. And they recommend, all the research you do says 18 to 20 miles is the most you'd really want to do in preparation. And for somebody like me with the injuries I've had, I think 17.5 is really good. And I've not really done a lot. The last weekend is the first weekend I haven't run since November. Since January. And my legs are ready to go. I can feel myself. I'm ready to do it now. My only concern, if you were to ask, what my worries would be for Sunday, is, quite honest, it's not about getting injured or anything like that. It's just about going too fast at the beginning, because I'll be too excited.
Yeah.
And you see it with, even horses in horse racing. If they get too excited, they go off too quickly, and then they can't finish properly. And there is a phrase that is used in sport and in life, that it's a marathon and not a sprint.
Yeah.
And I'm literally running a marathon, so I don't need to be sprinting at the start, because else I won't be able to move after 10 miles when I've got another 16 to do. So I've got to make sure the adrenaline doesn't. When I'm going to need the adrenaline will be sort of 17, 18 miles, when I'm really tired. That's when I'm going to need the support and the noise from all the crowd. At the beginning, I just need to ease myself into it and go along with the other runners, because I think I'll be starting my run with at least 200 or 300 other people. I think that's how they do it, at least, if not more, in a big block. And hopefully they don't go off too quickly, and I don't get too carried away with things and try and race people. And as somebody said to me earlier on, if you see Mr. Blobby or the dinosaur, or someone dressed in a post box overtaking you, don't get too frustrated. Just accept that they're a bit quicker than you, and they're dressed in a fancy dress costume.
They'll die in a couple miles from music.
Well, there you go. So it's
and you might find them ahead, tired and exhausted.
Well, you've heard of the fable of the hare and the tortoise, and the hare went off too quickly and the tortoise caught it up. So I'm much more of a tortoise than a hare these days, especially at my age. So I think that I will hopefully find my way around. And I'm fortunate that the charity I'm running for are doing an event for us afterwards, which will be really good. It's actually at the hotel I'm staying at on Saturday. And hopefully Zan and the children will be there to see me on Sunday at the end at the hotel.
Oh yeah,
even if they can't get to the course, which would be a shame. But I understand that might not be so easy with Malachi and him being in the buggy and getting around London and stuff. That'll be a challenge for them. But I know Zan will do a good job of working out with Asher where I am at any given point, because you'll be able to track me on the London Marathon app.
Yeah.
Once I give you my number tomorrow.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a good plan. The plan about easing up, don't get carried away at the start and then burn out before you even get anywhere. That's a good plan.
I got gifted this by a colleague at work.
Oh, yeah? The bag?
Yeah.
It's got some storage at the bottom, isn't it?
So you can put your shoes under, which is, it's really, really useful because clearly I'm taking 2 pairs of shoes.
Lovely.
He's a professional referee's assistant in the Football League in England.
Do you think he'll be watching this video?
I will make sure he gets a copy of it. I know that my boss, Nigel Blackbird, will be extremely keen to see it when it comes out.
Wonderful.
I don't mind name checking him.
Greetings. So our viewers would love to know how you got on or what tactics you used to fundraise for, obviously, the monies that will be sponsoring you for this run, the marathon.
So I went about it quite traditionally by setting up a Just Giving page, which is quite a well-known charity collection website across the world, actually, not just in the UK, I believe.
Yeah.
And contacted people via WhatsApp, via LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. So the 4 main, social media outlets that we've got in this country, and put the word out there. I also tried to use the relevant hashtags for people who might be interested in the same things I am on my social media. So the football team, the American football team, use the hashtag, the charity hashtag, the autism hashtag. I managed to get an article written about me or published on an online news feed about the football club I support and my run on Sunday as well, and that helped. It was quite a labour of love, and it was almost as stressful as the running, quite frankly, because you never know how people are going to react. And I don't even know. I think I knew 99 people, and I've had 99 individual people so far. Maybe it'll get to 100 if we're lucky. Donate, and that's wonderful. It's, as I said earlier on, it's quite phenomenal, really, to appreciate that people have given me such good thoughts. But I can feel it getting a little bit emotional just thinking about that. It's the thought that people have just had a kind thought about me and thought either A, he's a nice chap, or B, he's doing it for nice reasons, or maybe both, and that's wonderful. And I've even had donations, as I said, from people in America, from the NFL team I support, and people off Twitter I've never met and never will do. Long distance family members who I don't speak to from one year to the next, that type of thing. People from Zan's church, that's been nice as well. It's been really good to get that feeling of goodwill from people. I've never really done any fundraising before. And
did you get nervous at the start whether you will be able to get to your target? And how much was your limit, and how much have you raised now as we speak?
So yeah, I did get nervous, and there was a time at the beginning where I was refreshing the page every 5 minutes, almost, to see if anybody donated it, and thinking, why hasn't X donated? And I know Z, and why hasn't he donated? And why hasn't Y donated? And it got to the point where I thought, you can't do this anymore, because you're going to make yourself ill if you keep worrying. And people will donate when they're ready, which they have done, clearly. And there may be a couple of people I know who I thought did ask me for the link and haven't donated, but perhaps they can't. Nobody knows whether people can or not.
Some people donated anonymously.
Well, yeah, I think 4 or 5 did. Yeah,
it might be anonymous.
And so you just don't know who's doing what for you on your behalf. And in actual fact, I've had 3 people now in the last 2 days have donated for the second time.
Oh, that's amazing.
There is 2 of whom work with me. One's in my team. One is a direct works alongside me.
Oh.
And somebody I used to work with at St John, who I didn't even really know her. I never met her because I only worked with her during lockdown. And there's only small amounts, but it just adds up. And it's so wonderful that people have felt touched by this because they've read my story. They know about Malachi, a lot of them anyway, because they are people I've met, some of these people, and they've heard.
They felt connected.
Yeah, they feel connected to us as a family.
Yeah.
It's not just me, is it? It's the whole family, because it's not just people who've been thinking about me while they've been doing this. They've been thinking about Malachi and Zan and the other two kids as well. So yeah, it's been at one point I did wonder. The limit I had to guarantee I would raise was £2,200,
Yeah.
which the charity, the charity will only let you run if you say you're going to, get that much in. And then I set myself a target of 3,500. But when I actually filled the form out when we were in Turkey, like I described earlier, I thought to myself, you know what, I can get to 5,000. And lo and behold, this is all quite magical, really. About 4 or 5 days ago, I reached that target of 5,000. So I went well above all the other targets that were set. And as I said, at 99 people, just over £5,000. That's a fair sum. And we know from first hand some of the things it can do to help and keep the exposure for autism and get it understood much better. And that's what Zan and I are going to need as we grow with Malachi, and Malachi grows. And whichever path Malachi takes and we have to take for him and with him, we all need people to support us. And this charity is an example of people who do. And whilst you can look round and think the world can be a bit of a strange place, which I think most of us would appreciate it is from time to time, it's wonderful that people can just drop that and just be kind.
And we also had an experience of a donation, which I think we should tell people about, which I felt I was very, very touched when we got Malachi's pram. Is it pram or pushchair?
Well, that was a different charity, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was money donated.
Yeah, so I think what you're saying is we were the recipients of people donating to a charity, and that's one of the reasons why it motivated us to do this.
Yeah, so that we can also raise some money to help someone else who's in
that's
need.
right. Yeah, we were very lucky to get that.
Yeah, because
it was a buggy for quite a big sum that we would have struggled to pay for ourselves, which has made our lives a lot easier when we take Malachi out, especially at the moment when for whatever reason his sensory needs mean that he wants to eat grass and leaves and flowers and plants, put everything in his mouth, because that's one of the sensory needs that Malachi has that's very strong for him. So that buggy's been really important to us, and Zan's right, it did motivate me to try and do something for other people as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, Mr. Roberts, I think our viewers would love to know what the program will be, so that if there's any that would love to come and support you and at least wait for you at the finish line, they know what to expect and when to turn up. So could you please talk us through that?
Yeah, I'll start from tonight's Thursday, as you're recording this. 3 days, or less than 3 days away now, clearly, 2 and a bit days till I do this. So I'm going down tomorrow to register. So
if you could tell us the dates for the purpose of the video, so that people who watch it later on, they know whether they've missed it or it's before or after.
Yeah, so
it's 2 days and 10 hours till the marathon.
So thank you. So I'm going down on the 21st of April, which is tomorrow as we record, to register, because I think there's over 30,000 people running this, so there's clearly a lot of organisation that's required. So what they'll do is they'll give me I've got a QR code on my phone on the London Marathon app, and I will then I'll get in a queue and scan that, and I will then get my bib, which is the official, as I'm sure you've all seen, when you run a race, even when you're a non-athlete like me, you get a number and you put it on your bib, and that, so that they know who you are when you run.
Yeah.
And I think in that there's also a chip as well, because obviously we're in a technological age.
Oh, what does the chip do?
Well, it'll record my time and track me as I go around.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm not going to start at the same time as I said earlier. The race is staggered, so you can't clearly have 30,000 people running at the same time and setting off at the same time. It would be bedlam. So it will record my exact time rather than the finish time. So when I get to the finish line on Sunday, the time on the clock as I get over the line will be the time from when it started at 9 o'clock in the morning, not the time when I started, which is at 10:44. So they need that chip to record my actual time as opposed to the time that the clock will say. So that's really important. So that's tomorrow. And then Friday the 21st. Friday the 21st, I'm staying in London, which I'm really fortunate to be able to do because I'm going to be attending a football match on Friday evening. So it's worked out quite well for me. And I'll be spending that with my dad, which is lovely. Dad's really looking forward to spending some time with me. I'll be staying near the football ground in Islington in North London, which will be fun. Then on Saturday, the 22nd of April, I'm going not far into central London where the charity, the National Autistic Society, are hosting a little event for the runners at a Pizza Express place. I don't know the name of the place, but something like that, a pizza parlour really, to help us load up with carbs because as you're probably well aware, when you run a long distance, you need to have plenty of carbs inside you before you do that. That'd be really exciting to meet some of the people who are running. And having seen the Facebook group I'm on as part of this, I know for a fact there'll be people like me who are parents or grandparents of autistic people, but also people with autism as well. And for example, there's an actual Paralympian who's autistic who runs it in like really, really quick time. He'll be there, and there'll be people like me who are really slow. But it'd be lovely to meet those people and to feel part of the community that I've sort of been built up over the last few months. To actually meet them face to face will be great. Then I'm staying in central London on Saturday night. I'm travelling down to Blackheath, where the race starts, which is southeast London, on early Sunday morning. Have to be there for 9:20 on the 23rd, Sunday the 23rd. Get in the queue, which will be interesting. And then I'll be starting, my start time is 10:43 to 10:46. And the way I've been running so far, I'd imagine that I will finish about 3:30 in the afternoon. When I've done that, you go through the end zone, you get your medal and your t-shirt to say you completed it, and then I will walk back to the hotel where they're doing an after event as well, for after marathon event, the charity are for the families as well as the runners. So that's hopefully where Zan and the children will be. And I'll probably break down and have a great big cry, and then I'll have something to eat, and then we'll all come home. And then I'll probably feel a little bit flat on Monday, but there we are.
So the people waiting for you at the finish line, where should they be?
I think people can get up to the 24, 25 mile mark. I don't think they can stop and watch right on the finish line. I think they're stopped from doing that. So I think it's that famous road that goes up to Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
The big long road that you would have seen at the Queen's Jubilee and things like that. I think
it's going to be really, really full and packed.
There'll be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watching. Yeah.
Wow. And what will they do if it rains?
They'll get wet. Oh. And I think the forecast is unfortunately for rain.
Oh dear.
And it won't be very warm either. But from what I've been told, for marathon runners quite like a bit of cool, rainy weather because it's not too hot. So.
No, when you're there watching.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be light rain rather than heavy rain, and I think there's a bit of sunshine that might come in the afternoon as well. So one of my things I need to work out is whether I run in sunglasses or not, because I do quite like running in my sunglasses, I have to say. So that's the plan for the next 3 days. And I'm raring to go. Really excited. It'll be one of the outside of family events and big life-changing events like weddings and birth of children and stuff. It's going to be up there as one of the most exciting days of my life, and I really can't wait.
That's good. We are so proud of you, and we will be surely waiting for you at the finish line.
Thank you very much.
Can you please tell us a little bit more about Malachi? Because of course we know that Malachi is the motivation for you to do this, among other reasons why you're doing this. So please tell us a little bit more about Malachi.
Yeah, Malachi is the main motivation, and he always will be. Malachi. So Malachi is our baby boy. He's probably the most beautiful individual I've ever seen. So innocent and wonderful. He was diagnosed with autism during lockdown, which was really difficult for us. We noticed quite early in his development, from about 18 months, that things weren't as we hoped they'd expected, and we'd noticed with obviously our other two children who developed as expected. So where once he was reciting the alphabet and saying his numbers, and even doing that alternately, so saying 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 2, 4, 6, 8, which was fantastic, that sort of stopped after about 18 to 22, 23 months. And he started to walk on his tiptoes. And I remember Zan saying to me that this could be a problem, and me going, oh no, it's just him walking on tiptoes, don't worry about it. And then we had a few other sort of telltale signs, and you do the dreaded Google, don't you, when you think, I'm going to self-diagnose this, and the first thing that came up was autism. And I think for a while we were probably in a bit of denial and try not to, even take it any further. At some point, we couldn't really ignore that any longer. And there were some pointed examples. So we had some examples where we took him to the local library, and he really used to enjoy it because he still loves nursery rhymes. I was reciting songs. So he's very lyrical, musical. He loves the sound of the music, which is wonderful, and I'm sure we'll progress that as he gets older. But we used to take him there, and when he started going there, he wouldn't really mix with other children, keep himself to himself, which was fine. It was a bit different. But then towards the end of us taking him there, he'd get so excited with the nursery rhymes, then he'd barge into the other children because he didn't really have any appreciation of them and why they were there. And that was another sign, and it was quite a concern. Actually, we had to stop taking him because some of the other parents, you could tell, were a bit miffed that Malachi was running around bumping in, because he's not a small boy, bumping into their children, knocking them over and seemingly not caring about it. So that was another telltale sign. And of course, then COVID came and we couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't go to nursery. The kids couldn't go to school, the other two kids. So we had quite a torrid 6 months where we made a few phone calls to the doctors, to the health services, and never really got anywhere. And eventually we managed to get an appointment, but only a video appointment. There was never anything face to face. And then we got diagnosed via a paediatrician, again remotely, rather than seeing anyone in particular. And I think it was in the November 2021 or 2020, one of those two. It's difficult to remember. It must have been 2020.
No, it was
2020.
Lockdown.
Yeah, so it was November 2020. He got
was on lockdown in 2021
it was
beginning.
Both. No, it was 2020 and a bit of 2021.
Oh, okay.
So it was the first big wave of it. So I think it was November 2020. He got diagnosed. Yeah, and we all shed a few tears. I certainly did.
Yeah.
Wasn't pleasant, but it was a relief in a way to get the diagnosis.
Yeah, to get to know what was going on,
Yeah.
because it was a bit confusing as to what.
and accepting that and understanding that life wasn't ever really going to be the same for Zan and me. Not how we envisaged it, which was obviously quite a shock, and it still is. Every day is a learning thing with Malachi, and we've dealt with it ever since as best we can, which isn't easy. It isn't easy on me and Zan. It isn't easy on Raquel and Asha. It isn't even easy on Zan's family or my dad and my sister, because they hurt for us as well, because they don't want it to be this way. However, excuse me, we obviously have to understand the way Malachi is, and we love him more than ever. None of this is his fault. No, it's nobody's fault. It's the way he is and the way he was brought into this world. And if I may say, it's quite an interesting story. I recently bumped into a stranger and got talking to them, and naturally, when you have something like this, you tend to bring it up in conversation from time to time. And this lady, I mentioned Malachi, and this lady said she had a grown-up child, 28 actually. Well, she wasn't much older than me, who is autistic, and she said, "Look, you and your wife have been chosen to be Malachi's parents because you're special, just like he is."
That was very touching when you told me about it.
It was. And whether you think that's religious, that we've been chosen, whether you just think we have been chosen, I think there's something in that, and I think that's a really positive way to look at it, because we have to be very patient and we have to be very understanding, and we're both very loving people, me and Zan, in our own ways. And the children are as well. Raquel and Ash are wonderful with him, and they love him like nobody's business. And I guess we wouldn't be the same family without him. And he was meant to be ours.
Yeah. He's such a sweet boy.
Yeah.
We love him to pieces. And we're hopeful that things will get better.
Yeah, of course we are. And he's making progress. And we're really lucky that he's had some support from his school, and that's going to improve in September, because we think, he's going to move to a different type of school that'll be more suitable for him. And we're hopeful. There is little signs of talking, which would be lovely.
Spider-Man the other day.
He did say Spider-Man. He didn't say Dad or Mum, but we were working on that.
Yeah, but he hasn't said it again.
No, he tends to do very, very fits and spurts with Malachi's verbalisation.
Yeah.
But he, I don't love him above the other two, because that wouldn't be fair, but he's different. So he needs a bit of different love from us. And he, may well always do. And we've accepted that, and we know that there's a big responsibility for us that we have to always, be wary of, and but not be wary of, but also, what's the word? Welcome, and work with and understand. And I think as we grow older with him, we'll understand him better, and we hope he'll understand us. He loves us. He doesn't need to tell us. He smiles. He's smiling. He's got a lot better. So when we walk through the door, he'll smile, which he never used to do.
Yeah.
So there are lots of signs of improvement, and we're so lucky and proud to have him in our family, like we are our other two children. And
yeah, he's so adorable.
Yeah, and we're going to do our best for him.
Yeah.
And this is a very small part of that. Clearly, it's a nice thing for me to do for myself, for the reasons I explained earlier. But there's a bigger picture here that we've explained, and that's probably why people have picked up on that. And I've done so well with the donations and the goodwill that I've had from friends and family and people from all over the place.
Yeah. Here's me. The camera woman joins in. So we just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has supported us, who has donated, who has morally, financially, mentally, physically, psychologically supported in every way. We thank you so much for joining in this cause, and we feel so blessed to be part of this. And we thank you all our subscribers, for our channel is growing very, very fast. We thank you all for coming, and for the new subscribers, welcome to the channel. For our returning and loyal subscribers, we really appreciate you, and we are so glad that you have been supporting us. We're on the road to 3K subscribers, and thank you. It's all because of your love and support that we're here giving you content as much as we can. So Mr. Roberts would like to thank you as well, and then we'll say goodbye. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, it's not just about the people who've donated to me for this. It's more about what Zan said, about the people who will be watching this, and maybe who don't. That's not the point. Who have supported us as we've got to this stage already with Malachi, and it's been nearly 6 years. With the other two children as well, we've been blessed with family and friends, and Zan's church especially, and other people who've supported us. My work, Zan's work. There's been special people in all those sort of places that needn't have necessarily put a tenner in for me to run the marathon, but have just been there to listen or to offer some support in many different ways. And I know they'll carry on doing that because they love us and they love our family, and that's wonderful. And yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully you found it interesting. And I would say, I think to anybody who wants to consider doing something like this, it's really worth it.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be 26 miles. You don't have to do it for a particular cause, even if you don't want to. Just do it for yourself. But it's quite good for motivation. It's quite good for drive and keeping yourself going. and to keep working at it and keep trying as hard as you can. And if you can keep going, then you can achieve more than you ever realized.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's one motivation that I did say that I would do a marathon, but I'm glad that you did it on my behalf, because I don't think I'll last a minute.
Well, I haven't done it yet, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But you've done so well. We are very proud of you.
Thank you,
Mr. Roberts.
Thanks, thank you.
Yeah, and we'll be rooting for you all the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, cheers. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Bye. Subscribe if you haven't. Like, share, and comment. Let us know that you've been to visit. Take care now. God bless.